So, Bernard, you look terrible. Felt terrible. I am currently quarantined, sick with COVID. Yay! I got a couple of these podcasts, 4 of them, to be technical. Super far behind. This one was with an old friend of mine named David, who has his own podcast called David's Not So Good Podcast. And it's really bad. It's not terrible. I actually haven't really listened to it all that much. Sorry, David. We did this podcast a while back. We talk about Star Wars. We talk about WandaVision. We talk about Ash versus Evil Dead. We can go all night. All night. Okay. I'll let it later so we can talk. This is Sober Nerd. This is probably going to be my not so good podcast. Because I'm joined today with David.
The one and only.
The one and only not
David.
So good.
Not so good David.
Not so good David.
Yeah.
So I have a not so good co-host.
Yeah. I apologize in advance.
Go ahead, plug. What's your stuff?
Oh, shit. Okay. Check me out on Facebook and YouTube at David's Not So Good Facebook page, where I post not so good podcasts and not so good poetry sometimes. I don't know.
Are you talking about your OnlyFans or?
Not so good OnlyFans.
You're not so.
I got one person subscribed, and I think it's one of my weird cousins.
David's not so good.
OnlyFans.
So they pay for it and like this shit.
They pay for it, and I'm like, you're not even naked. And I'm like, that's why
it's not
so
very good.
No,
I just show you my different glasses.
It's tasteful.
It's tasteful. You have you're wearing like one of those shirts with a tie.
Do you know that like the trend that was going around where you use your thumb to like hide your bits when you like take like. But I use a hot Cheeto.
Hot Cheeto is hilarious. Like, no, the Puffs ones.
The Puffs.
The one that's super big.
Oh, man, what happened to the fries? The hot Cheeto fries.
Oh, yeah, those are good. You still eat those?
Hot Cheetos?
Well, Cheetos, yeah.
Yeah, the extra flaming hot.
But you don't do the rock stars anymore?
No. Like, occasionally, if I know I'm going to be, like, awake for 30 hours doing
I can't
shit.
anymore. I'm in my 30s now. I couldn't even do the sugar-free. The taurine.
Yeah, I can only do sugar-free. I can't do, like, I stay away from sugar in general.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. Well, I wanted to, what did you want? I personally wanted to get into WandaVision a lot.
Yeah.
Because I really didn't like it, if I'm being honest with you.
I'm
super disappointed.
I'm a mixed bag on WandaVision.
I'll break it down just for me. It's, see, hands. I'll
have to
slap the table.
Don't slap the table.
The first 3 episodes I thought weren't that much. It was just literally the first 3 episodes. Well, the first 2 are black and white. Nothing happens. It's just like watching a sitcom.
Yeah.
Other than the radio thing where Wanda.
And then the
guy
Stark
choking
thing, and then like the advertising.
Yeah, but the ads. Yeah. And those people who were doing the ads, I thought were her parents. Turned out to just be nobody.
Yeah, they're just people in the town. I guess.
But it wasn't until the 3rd episode where she has the babies. You're like, something's up. The 4th episode was all backstory, and then it was like each episode after that was like, this is good, this is good, this is good.
Yeah.
Then you got to the finale, and it was like basic, just her. There's a spoiler if you haven't seen all 9 seasons of WandaVision. Oh, 1 season.
All 9 seasons.
We watched it.
All
9 episodes of season 1, which from what I'm hearing, there's not going to be a season 2. The episode's called series finale.
They still haven't even like. They only did 1 movie of Phase 4.
Yeah. Spider-Man.
Yeah, and then Black Widow's been done for a year.
And that would be like phase 2.
That's between
Ultron.
And that's after the first snap, but not the second snap. It's between the 5 years. Black Widow's in that 5-year period.
Oh right, yeah. So it's between, yeah.
But we're getting Falcon and Winter Soldier.
I'm very excited for that.
That's
the show I was most.
I think.
For.
But back to WandaVision.
Yeah,
I don't want to jump the gun. My hot take on it is, like, in all honesty, the first 2 episodes were my favorite episodes.
Okay.
And the reason why, because I do think the lead up was amazing. The follow through was awful.
Yes.
And the coolest thing to come from WandaVision, I think, is the fan theories.
Yes, they were better than the show.
So the fan theory, like the one fan theory that I don't know if you heard, but the whole spoiler, but like Evan Peters playing Pietro in this one, because he played in X-Men, is that in the reveal he's just a guy named Boner, last name Boner.
Ralph.
But the fan theory is that Jimmy Woo deals with witness protection, so he could be multi-dimensional witness protection.
No, he's FBI. He didn't even know. He's
But
like Wanda, who's making. He was so dumbfounded by what was going on.
But you don't. But his entire character arc is he seems like a dumb idiot, but he's actually really fucking smart and like good at his job.
Here's the thing. Okay, you know they had a comic book back in the day called Strange Tales.
Yeah.
I think they should have a Strange Tales TV show starring him. It would be like X-Files, and they call it Strange Tales, so it would tie right into Marvel, and it would be him going down to all these different mysteries and stuff. Just like he did in WandaVision,
yeah.
And it would be centered around him. It would be an X-Files version led by him.
I honestly think Loki's going to be an X-Files show.
You think?
Because the way they introduced
it
with like, oh, wow.
Wow.
The Owen Wilson
My
guy.
brother was super stoned last night, and I was like, he was talking about Owen Wilson, like, have you seen the Star Wars one where all the lightsaber clashes?
Yeah, and like,
so I showed it to him, and he was dying. He had to watch it 3 times, especially when they're fighting with Dooku, and they do a long one, and it goes, wow. He was like, oh my god.
Just imagine you do Force Lightning, it's like, ka-chow.
Ka-chow, ow. And then he cut off Dooku's hands, he went, ow. Great. But what did you think of okay, so why did you like the first episode?
So the first 2 episodes, the reason why I really liked it is because I'm a fan of Easter eggs, and I'm a fan of, like, homages.
Oh, yeah.
So all of the references that they were doing, like Bewitched was in the second one. First one was I Love Lucy.
Mm-hmm. Kind of Dick Van Dyke.
Dick Van Dyke.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed it because those were reruns that I was watching growing up. And then, like, when I saw I like weird stuff. And I think WandaVision was great because they presented it as, like, this is weird reality warping stuff.
Right.
And I felt bad because I spilled chaos magic to my friend.
Right.
Because that's the whole thing.
That's her whole power.
It's like chaos magic. She's like she's mutant, but not, but magic, but mutant.
Yeah, she is a mixed bag. She's too many, whatchamacallit, too many retcons.
Yeah, because they don't know how to explain mutant abilities either. But that's just comic books.
I honestly, one person once told me really, she's a chaos magic. She's magic, who also has a mutant gene. Because there are mutants in the X-Men franchise, not just X-Men, but in the Marvel universe, who really don't have a lot of abilities. They just have that gene, which could be like, I can hear really well, or something. Like, some of them don't have powers at all.
Yeah.
Like, what are those, Inhumans?
Yeah.
Remember, some Inhumans just don't have powers. They just are Inhuman.
Yeah, but I mean, I do like
she just has the mutant X gene. It's almost like, well, she's gay, but she's a chaos magic. Well, she's like, if she were gay, it'd be like, that's just a byproduct. She has that gene. She has that whatever.
Yeah.
But I think the magic is the real thing.
So I think, like, in the movies at least, the show made it where she was a magic first, and then
the time stone.
Then the time stone amplified her abilities.
I think it just it didn't awaken it because she had it.
She had it, but I think it amplified it
for sure.
But okay, so the reason I like the lead up. The lead up I thought was great.
I agree.
Alluding to a bunch of stuff,
but
I felt like the follow through was kind of lackluster.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, the last episode I was bored at times.
I was too.
The coolest thing to come out of it is her outfit.
Yes. That was cool. White Vision.
Yeah, no, White
West
Vision.
Coast Avengers Vision.
The whole, like, you know about the boat.
Yeah, and if they rebuild it, is it really still the thing it was before? Is it something new?
And he's like,
I require more inquiry. I love when he touches him and kind of he unlocks his memories, but like a part of that vision went in him because you notice when you stop, you can see the yellow. Yeah, and he goes, "I am Vision." Takes off. That was cool.
I think WandaVision now is like the mid credits and after credit scenes. Opens the way for Vision Quest storyline for Skrull.
See, the Skrull thing didn't really get me.
The space stuff, I think it's just going to be another Guardian stuff, and then the other one is Doctor Strange.
That Multiverse of Madness looks good.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that. I was excited for not the mid-credit scene. Mid-credit scene I thought was actually stupid. Just a scroll. Okay, whoopie-doo. She points up. An old friend wants to see you. All right, Nick Fury.
Yeah.
So she's going up. No, the old friend of your mom's. So she's going to go up, and she'll show up in Captain Marvel 2. Oh, Captain Marvin. Marvin the Martian.
Marvin the Martian. Just imagine if he shows up.
Yeah, Warner
Brothers.
Brothers.
He's Warner Brothers, never gonna
well, they did. Warner Brothers did Duck Dodgers, which was Buck Rogers. That's not Warner, but what I was trying to say is, or she'll either come up in Captain Marvel 2, or they just announced they're doing Secret Invasion.
Yeah,
which is going to star Nick Fury, so she could be in that because it's Skrulls.
Do you think in Secret, like if they do a Secret Invasion movie, that they're gonna?
It's a TV show.
Oh, it's a TV show.
Mm-hmm.
But it's Disney Plus though,
Yes.
right? Okay.
It's gonna be like 9 episodes like Wanda.
Oh God, Marvel doesn't know how to make a good TV show outside
So
of
far.
Netflix and Disney.
I
The
agree.
Hulu ones were bad.
Yeah, they were.
What was it? Who did Inhumans?
That was Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
That
no,
Fox-
Inhumans. Yeah.
Fox.
That was Fox. That was really bad.
Those were bad, and he was like, "What?" And then
It was really bad.
what was it? Black Bolt? No, what's his name?
Black Bolt. Yeah, that was Inhumans.
It's Black Bolt. That's his name, right?
Yeah, yeah.
He has a tuning fork on his.
Yeah.
But he was like, "What?" And they just kind of disintegrated.
I didn't mind him. The one thing I did like about that show, the only thing I really liked was I thought they got Black Bolt down, and I liked how he was doing sign language all the time. I thought that was really cool.
Well,
the casting around it.
Doesn't he have a? Isn't the reason why he has is her name Medusa around because she's telepathic? She just basically.
Yeah, but she would not in the show. She didn't. In the
Oh.
show, he would literally sign, and she'd be like, "This is what he wants." I'm like, "Those fuckers can just learn sign. If everyone learned ASL, then she wouldn't. Ooh, I can.
Would it be or
hurt
would
you
it
with
be
my hair.
would it be ISL in human sign language?
Inhuman sign language, yeah. But she just does stuff with her hair, and then they shave her head. I'm Samson. Like,
Yeah.
she's got nothing.
I don't know. Okay, so WandaVision.
Yeah.
I feel like the best thing that WandaVision did was set up stuff following it.
And I talked about that in my, because I did a little review, a small one, on Sober Nerd Facebook channel. I'm sorry, Facebook. And I said, if that's what they're doing with the TV shows, I'm not going to watch them. Because all this did was build up what they want to do in the movies.
Yeah.
Where people are going to go and spend millions of dollars, to watch the movies.
Yeah.
If the TV shows are just setups for other stuff, that's a way. I'm wasting 9 weeks, bro. 9 episodes for them to set up something that I go and see in 2 hours in a movie theater.
Well, this is a thing. This is like a criteria for like how do you completely like argue if a comic book movie is good or bad, because one of the biggest things like comic books is it sets up storylines versus being a well-contained storyline.
Well, certain things that happen, I don't want to jump because Marvel they were on a run, dude. They had Secret Invasion, they had Siege, they had Planet Hulk. Those are contained stories that are legit.
But in the realm of movies,
Civil War.
In the realm of movies, I don't think any of the following movies would be good without the precursors.
I agree, but those movies still did something. This the WandaVision, nothing happened.
It introduced more magic. Because Doctor Strange was the only movie that actually showcased any sort of magic.
All it did was, like I said, set up.
Yeah.
In and of itself, she got a new suit, and she dealt with the loss of Vision.
Yeah,
and that's
I will
really
say
it.
that
9 episodes.
My biggest gripe of anything Marvel movie related or television related is the heroes who do really shitty things have no consequences.
That's true.
None of the if I was one of the town folks, I would be like chucking rocks at her.
Yeah.
Be like, she's an awful person. Don't let her walk away. I don't care if she's a superhero.
Yeah.
She literally mind controlled us,
yeah.
and then was like, oh, my bad, guys. I'm gonna defeat the other villain.
Well, it was. She even said it was reactionary. She was watching that thing from Vision, and she just and all the stuff came out.
But literally, 0 consequences happened at the end of the season.
Well, she lost her kids. That's huge.
Her kids that she had for 3 days.
Right. But
that she poofed out magically. That there's not. I don't think that bond. Was because you're an actual parent.
Yeah.
So if you woke up one day, and you had magical kids who were kind of creepy.
Yeah, but she gave birth to them. Like, it's different. She birthed them and raised them, and time was moving differently there. But if I, as a parent, watched my wife give birth to 2 kids, which I have done, and then let's say they died, each episode was roughly a week, so let's say if I sat there, watched her give birth twice, which I did, and then I lost those kids a few weeks later, I'd be fucking devastated. It would kill me, because that's something that's important to me, and that's what I think. Because if you noticed in the end credit scene, did you hear the kids screaming for her?
Yeah.
When she was doing the Darkhold magic.
Yeah.
So I think that's what she's gonna do is get them back. And in the comic books, she took the 2 souls and brought them into reality.
Yeah.
But then found out that they were pieces of Mephisto.
But they still grew up to be Wiccan and
Speed. Yeah. And I think they need that for Young Avengers. So she'll probably pull them out. And they're gonna be like 15. and then they'll be like, okay, well, shit, you know.
Because the thing about Marvel is nobody actually dies in comic books.
Yeah, in the Marvel movies, I mean, Cap is gone, Vision's kind of in
Do you know what I was hoping for is when we went to Agatha's lair and they had the book. I was like, they're gonna tie in Ash.
Oh,
like Marvel Zombies have a Marvel Zombie spin
as they're panning, not even just as they're panning quickly, you see a Necromonicon there somewhere. So they're like, whoa, what? I saw that. I saw that. No, that would be funny. Yeah.
And they have Marvel Zombies. I don't know.
But have Ash show up for one episode.
Just he's like groovy.
Yeah, and he tries to use the Necromonicon. I'm not getting it. I still can't find that comic book, by the way.
Which one?
The one where Ash shows up in
Ash versus Marvel Zombies.
Yeah, well, I want the whole collection.
The whole compendium.
Yeah, where I can find individuals, but they're actually harder to find than you think. So specifically, the one I want is when he tries to use the Necromonicon against the Marvel Zombies.
Wasn't that the Halloween day free comic book day special?
I don't know.
Because I think it was like a issue 0.
Because he used it to try to stop them, and the Necromonicon spoke to him and said that it can't work in this dimension.
Like the Deadites can be turned into zombies. Too.
Right, and then he summoned Deadites, and the Deadites got bit by the zombies, and became like Deadite zombies. It was so cool.
But that was the same one where he was bit by the duck. What is his name?
Howard the Duck. But
he couldn't bite him. Yeah, because he was all like, when Ash got bit, he was like, "This is the end." And he was like, "No, it was a duck bill." And he was like, I think I'm fine." And then he ends up in the werewolf universe. He does because at the end of it, he says the incantation. He messes up, and he shows up, and there's like werewolf Hulk, and he's like, "Shit."
Yeah, I didn't know. What's cool is when you watch that, it kind of answers a fan theory that people had that in Army of Darkness, when there were 3 Necromonicons, those were actually pathways to different dimensions. So when he got sucked into one, he was actually like pulling against being sucked into another dimension.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
I mean,
multiverse in Army of Darkness, which there kind of is. If you
there's there's timeline changes and stuff.
Well, cause
like the TV show had cutscenes from the Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2.
Evil Dead. Evil Dead 2, because they couldn't show anything from Evil Dead 2 because they only had the rights to Evil Dead. What
was the one that was like, "I swallow your soul, swallow your soul"?
That was the first one.
Was that the first one?
And the lady's like dancing
with
stuff.
His sister was on the first one, but not in the second one?
Yeah, his sister was on the first one. And the second one, it was his girlfriend. She does the book, and then the tree comes in and grabs it from the window. That's the second one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they only had the rights to the first one. And then, so they said, canonically, it would be
a sequel to the first one.
It would be a sequel to the first movie, but he makes references
to the second one.
To the third. Because remember when he fights himself?
Yeah.
He kills him and he goes, "Cutting myself up. I wish this felt weird." But it didn't because he did it before. So I was like, that's an Army of Darkness
that's the Army of Darkness is like, "I'm good, Ash."
Yeah. Yeah.
Good little teacher.
He goes like that.
Yeah.
But he never referenced the second one. But even, because they talked about, because that's, if you've seen the second movie, it kind of retells the same story as the first one.
Yeah.
So it's not
originally they weren't going to name it 2 because it was actually literally a remake.
Right.
It was a better budget remake.
It was a better movie, I think.
But then they still branded it as a sequel.
So it would really go 1, Ash vs. Evil Dead, or 2, 3, and then I don't know where 4 lies, the remake kind of thing, because Ash's car was in there, and then he shows up in after credits.
That's like I think that's just a parallel universe. Because they name her Ash, Jane Levy's character.
Right. Ash's car was there, the same cabin was there, and then at the end, Ash shows up and says groovy.
Yeah, and the after credits. Because they had a whole sequel thing planned out where it's going to be Ash and Ash versus
They're going to meet up.
I know. They were going to meet up. But now she's doing Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist.
Yeah, the show sucks. I tried it. The first season was good.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing in the second season. I still watch it though.
With Wanda. We
back to Wanda.
We do this a lot. It's fine. I'm excited for Falcon and Winter Soldier because I want to see what happens to Cap's shield.
Yeah.
I want to see who's really going to get it. I think Bucky deserves it more. Maybe because I grew up in the comic book, so I'm like, Bucky, that was his guy. He should have that shield. Because honestly, another reason why is because I love that line of Captain America.
The black suit Captain America?
The black suit with the pointy thing? Yeah. It was great.
And Bucky used Did he use a gun? Or did he give up? He had. I
He
thought
did
it
have
was
a gun.
a cool aesthetic.
He had like it looked like a German pistol or something. I remember
Yeah.
he had that right there, and everyone made fun of him because the way his suit looked like a Puerto Rican
Rico?
flag. Yeah, Captain.
But
Puerto
I
Rico.
thought it was cool that he had the arm plus the shield.
Yeah, oh, it was great. He was training with it.
He's got sort of super soldier serum.
It's kind of enough.
He's got the Russian knockoff. Right?
Enough. And Falcon is Falcon. He's not Falcon anymore when he's doing Winter Soldier. He really doesn't have anything.
I am
and
worried.
In Colonel America or whatever, that other guy, the one that's kind of crazy. He's like Captain America Light.
Yeah, but what is it called? Captain Patriot?
No, it's I think it's like Colonel America or something like
Colonel
that.
America?
He has it looks like a redone Captain America suit, but he's a soldier picked by Ross to take Captain America's place, and they're like, well, that's good for you. Cap gave his shield to Falcon, and that's where the fight is, because like, well, technically that's
I thought Baron Zemo's going to be the main bad guy.
He is, but they're also there's the
subplot.
But I just hope that doesn't like we watch this and it's awesome, and then it ends with like, oh, this will be in something else, and I'm like, like set up the next stuff, but don't rob your story. They took so much. They gutted WandaVision to set up Multiverse of Madness.
I
really
honestly,
pissed me off.
I think they had a whole thing that like they had when they showed the thing that she actually didn't take Vision's body and she produced Vision.
Right.
That I totally thought they could have set up Ultron 2.0.
Right.
Because when I saw the Ultron and him just being put back together, it's like there's no reason why it couldn't have been Ultron. Because it's Jarvis without all the emotional attachment.
And it's not even Jarvis at that point, right? Because remember Jarvis wasn't a part of it when Ultron was making it. It was just the Time Stone, and then Ultron was making the body.
Yeah, and then Iron Man put Jarvis into it to make him.
And then Hulk helped.
Dude.
I almost said Mark Ruffalo helped him.
Because it was Hulk, him, and then
Ultron and Time Stone.
What's her name? Black Panther's sister.
Oh, jeez, I don't want to mispronounce it. Shuri. Yeah.
Was helping as well, like
at the end there, yeah.
But like honestly, like
I thought James Spader was gonna do his voice.
Really?
Like just the white version?
Yeah.
It would be James Spader. I'd be like, oh,
that would have been cool. Honestly, like I want more Ultron. Or like why in the MCU has there been anybody like other than Spider-Man repurposing like the alien tech, like Vulture representing it, like repurposing alien tech? Why don't they do that with Ultron parts and
they did that? They did that in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Again, I never got into Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Oh, well, that was in the first season. They had Centipede. They were taking Chitauri stuff, and they had the guy had the thing on his back that looked like they called it Centipede and make him superhuman.
Oh, and it was like in the spine.
Yeah, and then what's his name? The black guy. He was the first one.
Was those the Ravengers?
I don't know what they were, but he ended up becoming a villain because he got machine parts. Not Longshot. Oh, what was it? He got the machine parts, the red eye.
Deadshot? No,
not that. That's DC.
No, there's a guy with dead in his name, and he has the red eye. And
I forget. He was like metallic and.
Where's James when we need him?
I know, right? He would have been like, "Oh, Limited Bit."
Yeah.
He's the guy I want to do a podcast with.
No, that's totally different.
I can't remember. He became an assassin, but they had that, and then but other than Spider-Man, they haven't really talked about it. Iron Man was doing the Operation Cleanup thing, whatever that's called. Wrecking Crew, or something like that, wasn't it? That was the nickname, but I know Wrecking Crew is actually a group of villains.
It's for Spider-Man, the guy with the mystical crowbar.
That's so stupid. He has that like Zemo looking kind of thing, and then the green.
Yeah, but I thought for one time, didn't he have like just prison pants for a while, and he was topless with
the crowbar.
With the crowbar.
He's like, I've taken on the Hulk. I can, and he's fighting Luke Cage and stuff. That was funny. But, and then what's his name joined because it was a bunch of guys. It was him, and then I remember Elemental Man, or the guy who carries the ball and chain.
Yeah.
He can.
Who they made Hulk's dad in one of the movies.
Oh yeah, in the first movie.
He was Hulk's dad.
He was. Oh, that movie sucked.
Yeah, it was bad.
But I like the look of the Hulk in that movie better than what they did in the second movie.
Yeah, I think Mark Ruffalo's Hulk pretty neat looking, except for Doc Green.
Oh, well, yeah.
He had 5 o'clock
Hulk?
shadow and
Professor
more
Hulk.
glasses.
I hope they fix his arm.
Yeah. I mean, there's no reason why his gamma doesn't regeneration doesn't kick in? You think he's just gonna be like?
Well, that's how he was at the end of when he sent Cap back. He was all in that sling and shit.
Yeah, but he wasn't a sling. I mean, healing. However, they do regenerative abilities in movies.
But he's the Hulk. He has the healing. Like he heals. He's like Wolverine with that shit.
Yeah.
But it was the Infinity Gauntlet and all the stones. So it's like fuck your healing factor. You have reality, time, all everybody, you know. It's like, you know.
He's like every like few months it heals and then just kind of shrivels.
It goes back. It's looking. Oh shit!
Oh, no. You just see him like reaching for a cup and he's like, ah.
Or then it goes too much. See, the time goes forward. He'll be like
just
reaching for a cup and then just. Oh,
he just slowly starts losing his hair and becomes Mephisto. Or no, what's his name? Maestro.
Maestro. Yeah,
the becomes evil.
one.
The beard and the
and he's got a bunch of
kids
that he had sex with She-Hulk.
No. So there was.
Or was that Old Man Logan? Or
that's
something?
Old Man Logan, but Maestro was the future one, and he had the necklace, the golden necklace. And he was sitting
beard and the white hair. Right?
He was sitting in the crown with all the broken Avengers.
He had like a Hulk Hogan thing. He was bald on the top.
Yeah.
Yeah. He had. I think. I had heard. I guess they shot nukes at him to try to kill him, and he just absorbed the radiation and became.
He got more powerful.
He went crazy though.
But
right?
yeah, he got super intelligent. He basically became Lex Luthor Hulk.
Right.
And he killed all the Avengers, and he was like a cosmic leader.
Didn't Hulk actually go to the future and like fight him at one point?
Yeah, and beat him.
That's crazy. How do you become more powerful, but then your younger self comes and kicks your ass?
He became so. Like I think the whole thing is that you give up strength for intelligence. Because the Hulk that beat him was the raged Hulk. And just kind of kept punching his face in.
Right.
I think Maestro was addicted to radiation as well. That if he wasn't getting enough radiation, he starts like shriveling.
Well, yeah, I mean, I did notice in Endgame that Professor Hulk seemed much weaker than he did in past versions. I'm like, you seem kind of like a bitch now.
But the thing is that they shoehorned so many characters to like have like a screen time that made him look awesome.
Yeah.
Like honestly, the way Captain Marvel was just clowning on Thanos, and the Scarlet Witch was clowning on Thanos. You just leave her. He was the one who was like, "Rain fire!"
Yeah.
Because she was like, "You're dead."
Picking parts of him off like a bug.
See, like you don't need most of them, but the teleporting thing where they teleport everybody in was epic. But you didn't need them.
I know, but that's when he says Avengers assemble. I don't know how many times I've watched that part.
And just cried.
Well, the thing, it gets me is it was so uncharacteristic because he goes, Avengers! Grabs the hammer, assemble. The first person, the Viking next to him, Thor. You hear him go, Wah! Puts out this huge, like, bloody war cry. I'm like, that's Thor, like, I'm ready to fuck shit up. That's that Nordic Viking kind of, like, war, you know? Yeah. Because he's the one that goes, he does this, like, blah kind of thing.
He was pretty awesome, too.
I love the beard, how it was, like, braided.
It was braided in.
It was great. I'm talking about a movie that came out 2 years ago. It was good. But my issue with WandaVision is they didn't do a TV show. For me, requires a lot more out of me personally than because I have to check in every week, especially the way they're doing. It's not like Netflix. I've got to check in, speculate for a week, and then see what happens, and then see what doesn't happen. A movie, we can go watch it right now. I can pause it, take a piss, come back, finish it later. It's done. I've invested. I'm out. This took more of my time and had less payoff than the shittiest Marvel movie, in my opinion.
Do you think their issue was pacing? Like, their issue was so much build-up, but not enough?
They built themselves into a corner, I think. They were reading all the online stuff going, fuck, this is way better than what we wrote. Shit.
Yeah, because there's so many... all the speculations were cool. They're like, oh, Mephisto...
Yeah, Nightmare, all that.
Yeah.
None of it happened.
Nope.
Who's the engineer that built... what's her name's tank? People were like, oh, it's going to be Dr. Reed Richards.
Yeah.
He's the engineer. Oh, no, it's going to be the Blue Marvel. Nothing. It was just some soldier. Like, you finished that thing? Oh, yeah, here, you're going to love it. It's like some random soldier built it.
Yeah. Because they have the makings. They have the makings for it being good, but they didn't have the movie magic. Like, everybody who works on the movie side of things didn't add the... But also, the movies didn't really make us love WandaVision at all.
I was more invested in Vision's storyline in this show than I was ever in Scarlet Witch. Him finding things out, him being deceptive, him finding out who he was.
Yeah.
The revelation that I didn't know was that when he said, I don't have no memories before this, and when she goes, are the Avengers? He goes, what's an Avenger? I'm like, oh shit, he doesn't remember anything. And then when you see her create him, like, that's why he doesn't remember, because he didn't exist. Why? Here's what I don't get. If she was able to make Agatha still be what she wanted her to be, even after she tore down the Hex,
Yeah.
why couldn't she still do it with Vision and do it with her kids? Because remember, everything was done. And she took Agatha and cursed her to be that nosy neighbor.
But yeah, she's the nosy neighbor in a fixed Westview.
Right, but Westview, the Hex was gone. Everyone was back to normal. But she was able to take Agatha and go and make her what she wanted.
Did it just controlled in her brain, just one person? I don't know. It also
I didn't write the damn thing.
no, like, it's weird. It's weird because it's the same thing. Was like, what's the argument of defense? And it's magic. And then the show's like, why is?
But Vision had all of his powers too. He was shooting the time stone energy. He was flying.
But again, when she did the emotional blow up, and then he was yellow.
Right.
He was the stone coming out of her, not her red.
Right.
So then you're like his embodiment. I think was like outside of her control. It was just dormant inside. Like it was.
But then the other Vision had the same powers. Remember, he was shooting blue energy.
Yeah.
Like he could phase in and out. He was flying. He was getting hard. Like, he was becoming indestructible. Whatever.
Yeah.
You know. He was doing all the same things. So she could literally just make another Vision and be like, all right, but this
answer
one's permanent.
these questions, Marvel.
I know, it's fucked up. Like she did it, but I get it. It helps the storyline to have him put all his memories into the actual Vision. Really, the white one is the real one, and then say, okay, we're gonna deal with that storyline later. I was fine with it. Okay, that laid me some resolution that Vision is still alive in a way.
Yeah,
and she got to say goodbye to him.
Yeah,
the kids part that hurt me. Not even from a emotional standpoint, but like, wait, those are the Young Avengers. That's Wiccan and Speed. What the fuck? Like, we need those guys, you know. And I didn't like the Darkhold. I'm like, I watched all of Agents of Shield. They had a whole season dedicated to Ghost Rider and the Darkhold. They had the book and everything.
Yeah.
So I was like, you're not really. I already did this on Agents of Shield. They did magic. Ghost Rider came in and even learned how to make portals with his chain, like Doctor Strange and shit. Yeah. And he took the Darkhold and took it to another dimension to hide it. I guess Agatha found it.
Or was this another book?
Well, they said it was in the show. They kept calling it the Darkhold, but
I mean, they can. I don't know.
I know Kevin Feige has made it clear he doesn't care about the stuff
about
before.
Agent of Shield or about.
Well, I don't know. He's given more love to the Netflix shows than anyone, because even recently they said, hey, those shows, because they had a 2-year cooling off period. Now Marvel. Kevin Feige, other than Spider-Man that they share with Sony, they literally have every single character now. All of them. They have 99%, except Spider-Man and all the Spider-Verse shit. That's the only thing. Because when they sold the movie rights to Sony, they also sold part of the character. So even if they got the movie rights back, Sony physically owns part of Spider-Man. He's not just owned by Marvel. Well, that blew my mind.
That was Stan Lee when Marvel was bankrupt in the 90s. He was trying to make money back for the company, so he was selling out movie rights like
but with Spider-Man, they own part of the character.
Yeah.
So even if they got the movie rights back, they would still have to cut. Even if they said, we have the movie rights back, we're done. Fuck you, Sony. They made a movie. They still got to write Sony a check because Sony owns part of that character for life.
But still, though, I mean, I think.
Can you imagine if he went all the way and just sold him? Like said
Stan Lee sold?
No, well, just like sold him, not part of it. Like. Sony
completely
didn't. Yeah, that would be like DC going. All right, we're going bankrupt, which I know is happening soon.
Yeah, like goodbye Superman.
Goodbye Superman. And he just shows up and no way home.
Riverdale.
Spider-Man.
He's like just gets bought by CW. Like, we got Superman in Riverdale now. and the Archie comics.
And Sabrina.
He's like the middle-aged Kryptonian guy. He's like, what is all these teenagers like?
All you guys doing all this cussing and fucking.
It's like so much hormones. I don't even know what the glitter dust you guys are snorting is.
Did you see the episode?
Which one?
Superman and Lois.
No,
it was good.
Okay,
you could tell that was CW didn't make that episode.
DC has a weird place in my heart because I hate the movies.
Are we done with the WandaVision thing?
Well, there's nothing really much to say about WandaVision other than we're disappointed.
Hold our breath for 2 more weeks and see how Winter Soldier,
Falcon's gonna go. I think it's gonna be a fun buddy cop stuff.
It's gonna be a guy show. Guy show, yeah.
I always like the gritty. They're super soldiers, but they're not like reality warping characters.
Right.
They use guns. They punch things.
I know, it's because when I talk about it, I do the same thing. It's like it's contained though. It's its own thing. It's not otherworldly. It's just we're gonna go on a little fun romp.
The choreography is always really cool.
Yeah, it's gonna be action-packed.
The Captain America movies, like when he was fighting Winter Soldier with the knife, like that was one of the coolest scenes. Like you don't need somebody coming down, summoning storms to destroy an entire thing. You just need a dude with a knife.
Yeah, and it drops it and catches it. You're like, whoa! And everyone's talking about that later.
It's like, oh, you see him running with like SMGs.
Yeah, right.
Just like shooting people and punching dudes.
Black Widow and shit.
And having like a funny like
that was good.
80s yippee-ki-yay motherfucker.
That was good. It was good. All right. Anyway, go. We'll just move on to DC then.
Okay, so my thing with DC.
So we can talk about Snyder Cut too, since we're on DC.
So that's the thing. Okay, I actually wanted. I was thinking about this earlier. Is that Warner Brothers with Snyder has this love relationship that they hope that he can recreate the magic he did with the Watchmen director's cut.
Okay.
Because to this day, I will argue that the Watchmen director's cut is the best comic book movie ever made. Because it changed a plot point in the original graphic novel and it improved on the story.
Well, not even the director's cut. In the original cut, he had changed the plot
Well, he changed it, but the director's cut added the animation of the comic they were reading inside the comic.
Right.
With the Black Freighter.
But it didn't bring in the squid stuff.
No. But I'm saying is that the director's cut added like 45 minutes worth of new footage that expanded it more. They had OG.
I don't think I've seen all of it though.
OG Night Owl.
Oh, I did. OG Night Owl, that fight scene.
And then they had those when new Night Owl or new replacement Night Owl and I want to say Silk Spectre, but I don't know if that's correct.
Silk Spectre? No, that's Spider-Man.
No, what's her name?
Oh no, you're right. Silk Spectre 2. Yeah.
When they fought the gangs, and then the gangs show up to OG
Night Owl,
and then they beat him up
and he flashes back to when he was young.
Yeah, and he's like,
that was cool.
Like they added stuff to expand
cool.
expand the world more, and it did such a good job.
I agree.
Containing so much story and made it like politically it's interesting.
Right.
Character driven wise it's interesting.
I would like to know Alan Moore's thoughts on that because he's hated everything that's come out. He said, I think V for Vendetta was the only one that he said he didn't like it, but he said he didn't hate it as much. He was like kind of like.
Because I want to know that too because I don't think people like with writers and stuff make them walk on solid gold and you can't say anything bad about him. I'm like, no, there's issues with Alan Moore stuff. He was on LSD.
Right.
And he said so.
I personally loved. It's not a popular opinion, but I like the theatrical League of Extraordinary Gentlemen better than his comic book. I did not like the comic book.
I think the art in his comic book hurt. Because they try to draw it Victorian style, and I was like,
so bad.
It's gross. It looks gross to me.
It was stupid.
But I honestly think they're trying to recreate Zack Snyder's magnum opus that was Watchmen.
Well, here's the thing that bothers me is that Hamada, the guy who runs DC that Ray Fisher's got all these issues with, said that the Snyder Zack Snyder's Justice League isn't a continuation. It's a cul-de-sac. Where his continuity will end there.
Yeah.
They're not going to make another. If they do make a sequel, it won't be Zack Snyder. And I'm like, and I was listening to Kevin Smith talk about this, and I think it's stupid to say that. What if this movie blows up and they're just like, oh my god, we're getting more subscribers than ever? They do a theatrical run. They put it on Blu-ray and people are buying it.
Yeah.
Fuck, they shouldn't have,
don't cut yourself off.
Yeah, because
if it's going to be good.
I think it's just because the brass there are just done with it, and they're like, hey, Disney Plus is killing us. We need some kind of content.
They are grasping at straws, but sometimes they do good stuff. I still think DC has the market on animated movies and animated TV shows.
Absolutely.
Harley Quinn was a breath of fresh air. It was
the TV show.
The TV show.
Yeah, it was funny.
It was comedic. It was funny. The way they did the Poison Ivy and her and then they did Alan Tudyk's portrayal as Joker was hilarious.
That was good.
They made fun of Bane because they made the voice to be the movie Bane.
Yeah.
And it was great.
Yeah.
So their animated stuff is can't be harped on, but the thing is that they don't promote it as much.
Well, I don't think it makes enough money. Did you see the new animated movie? Because remember they did Justice League Dark. What's it called? Apocalypse or whatever. The one that ended
Apocalypse
everything.
War. Back in
Apocalypse War.
2012.
No, this was last year.
No, because they did Flashpoint Paradox, literally movie, and then they did
all those movies that came out, and then
they brought Dark Side back.
And they wiped it.
Yeah.
Flash did another Flashpoint.
Yeah.
And then they made one movie so far since then. And that was
of that universe.
Yeah.
Then they had like a Batman Bruce Lee movie.
The Dragon?
Yeah.
I haven't seen it. I heard it's good though.
I watched it. There's parts of it that I really like, but it's not. It's like year one Batman.
I haven't seen it.
He's like not Batman yet.
But they have the Superman movie. That I saw.
Yeah.
And Marsh Manor shows up. I was so excited for that. But apparently he's in Snyder Cut, which really pisses me off because of the guy, the black dude who's been in all the Man of Steel and Batman v Superman. He's Martian Manhunter. He was there in an interview and they're like, "Oh, we heard you went back for some stuff." He's like, "Oh, John Jones." Like, "You what now?" And he's like, So anyway, I'm doing this other movie next week.
His name is Jones John.
Jones John.
The original character.
I'm like, damn. I think
he hunts men.
He hunts men. Yeah. I'm happy when it comes to DC. Okay, DC TV starts off really good, but then they start losing people. I think I stopped watching Supergirl 2 seasons ago because it just got too
campy, but not in a good way.
Yeah.
I think camp works if you make fun of yourself.
They never do. They take themselves way too seriously. They have these guest stars who become best friends after like 3 episodes and stuff. Like when Rain was on there, they're like, "Oh, we're like best friends." I'm like, "You just met her."
The first season when they introduced the toy maker and stuff, they just were like joking on themselves in their universe.
CBS.
Yeah, and then
they sold it to CW, and then like, "Oh, we take things very."
CW has this thing where they want to recreate the fan base for Supernatural. Yeah. Supernatural's went on for 16 years. Ugh. And they're like, we want those dedicated fans for our superhero stuff. But they're not making good stuff.
But even fans, I've heard it from you, I've heard it from other fans who even said, they're like, "Oh, you watch Supernatural after 15 seasons?" Yeah, because I have to. I'm not liking it. They're like, but I've dedicated a decade of my life to this. I can't walk away.
Supernatural can be broken up as like first 2 seasons, legit horror. Really try to scare you.
Scary, yeah.
And then it was family drama, and then it was Monster of the Week.
Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
Like, it got really weird. And then each season was like, "Oh, this brother died. The next season, that brother died. Oh, we're going to kill the other brother."
You know our father figure that didn't show up until season 6? He died, but we love him so much. We're going to play flashbacks that we have to reshoot.
Forever, yeah.
Yeah.
And then, oh God, and they bring
did you find out that we found out that we're angels now? Like,
I know. And then God was just someone who loved them because it was a TV show.
God was a man named Chuck.
Yeah.
and he had an unsuccessful book line.
Mm-hmm. I like their version better than Preacher, for sure. Preacher, I wasn't too big of a fan of. I did like the hell stuff, though.
The finale of Preacher is the thing that ruined it for me.
Yeah.
Because it was so cool. I liked the vampire. I liked Helmstar. Like, I liked the villain. Like, all that stuff. The comedy was there. It was really, like, I don't know what you call it. Grindhouse. It was a Grindhouse show.
It was shock comedy.
Yeah.
For sure.
And it was fun. The Saint of Killers was always, he shot Satan in there.
He did, and he I remember when he's talking to him, and he's like, "So were you there when my daughter, they killed my daughter or whatever?" He's like, "Okay, look, I was at the meeting." I was like, "That's great."
It was great.
And then Hitler, I guess, takes over hell or whatever. That was funny.
There was scenes like, "Did you really become a vampire?" Like, I thought you were joking, and pushes him off, and he like busts into flames.
Yeah. The finale was awful. I know a lot. I saw Twitter feeds of people just ripping it apart. That's another show like WandaVision where they get to, like, how do we bring this?
How do we
in?
end this? Yeah.
And they don't know how to, and they just try, but they don't give everything resolution. Did you watch Schitt's Creek?
The first couple seasons.
Oh, okay.
Years ago.
I know it's not on point at all, but that's a show that really brought everyone in. Like that final.
Did they finish?
They
finish it?
The finale. I was crying, and I don't get emotional for fucking TV, but I was like, "Ooh."
I know when it first came out, everyone was like, "You remember the dad from American Pie?" And I was like,
"Yeah."
He has a TV show now with his family, and it's quirky and it's good.
It's
and I'm
really
like,
good.
Okay.
If you're into the Christopher Guest movies, you'd really like it. Like For Your Consideration, Waiting for Guffman, Best in Show, A Mighty Wind, those kind of mockumentaries.
It's like was it who's the Bluth family, Arrested Development,
kind of,
but Modern Family mixed into it.
It's hard to compare. I think.
Because it's people who are rich.
Who are now poor, right.
Who are now poor, who own a hotel?
No.
Or live
in a hotel because they own the town. That's the one thing they get to keep. They bought the town as a practical joke because they were multi-billionaires.
Yeah.
And so they're in the town, but the town is Hobunk.
Yeah.
So
it's like rich people trying to
get used to living this way.
Life.
And the thing about the Bluths that was funny is they
even though lost everything, never stopped being who
they were.
They were still like, drinking martinis and like, it's like, you guys understand, like, you're broke. You know? They were Arrested Development. And if you watch all the seasons, they never grow.
No.
These characters legitimately grow. David ends up, getting a husband. They opens up an apothecary shop in the town and stuff. Like, a lot of good things happened.
So they find themselves.
They do in a new way. They become appreciative. They actually get in touch with their old friends who were billionaires. And at a certain point, they're like, "Oh, have you seen this town called Shadow Creek or something like that?" And he's like, "It's Schitt's Creek, and it's our home." And I'm like, "Oh shit!" It was really emotional. He's like, "These bums, these people you're making fun of, they took care of us when you guys weren't there." It's like it has like some legit drama.
Because like there's a lot of shows that the premise is let's make fun of these people because they're different or like Trailer Park Boys, first season. No. But I'm saying is that the premise of Trailer Park Boys is insensitive, but it grows. You care for the characters because the first season is let's make fun of Trailer Park Canadian hillbillies,
right?
And then it grows into these are people with families.
Even in the first season, they don't do it. It is like that, but the last episode, they're getting the first season is when you actually see some humanity come through because they're all you have the whole first season, which is all just they're making fun of essential trailer park trailer trash. Like the guy Ricky lives in a car. And he sees his friend in a Cadillac. He's like, "Man, I could have lived in that car for years." It's like a step up. And at the end, Ricky and Julian are both getting married to someone else, obviously. Ricky had done in a previous episode made a bad drug deal. The cops are coming to arrest him. And they know he's not going to survive in jail. So Julian, knowing that, fires his gun in the air. So the cops will arrest him. Like, okay,
because it's still his best friend.
Exactly. And then season 2, they really lay into the comedy. They start, expanding on, Mr. Leahy. And his
R.I.P. Mr. Leahy.
Yeah, but his gay lover, but not
his deputy guy who's always shirtless.
It's Randy.
Randy
doesn't never wear a shirt.
Put a shirt on, Randy.
He doesn't wear a shirt. He takes his pants off when he's about to fight you. It's great. J-Rock is my guy, dude.
The guy who like
white rapper
was trying to start like a rap thing.
Mm-hmm. J-Rock.
Yeah.
Oh, I can. You want to go down that train with me, dude? I'm obsessed.
No, but
with that shit.
It's one of those shows where like you think that they're doing one thing and then they build the characters.
Schitt's Creek did exactly that.
It's hard to grasp onto a formula and keep rolling with it.
I know.
Like another show that I think is really good, even though it's super formulaic, is The Mandalorian.
It is.
It's super formulaic,
dude,
but it works.
Season 2 was so fucking good.
It works because it's like guy protects cute thing, Western. Everyone's
Western.
trying to kill him,
right?
And then he starts feeling for the thing that he's protecting.
Well, the people who aren't fans of that universe, kind of like my wife is kind of like it doesn't get it, but someone like me, you, my kids who love Star Wars, they recognize those things, and those are the tropes that we get into. When Luke showed up, if you are not a fan of Star Wars, that would mean nothing to you.
No, but it means everything because it's like finally we get to see what he was doing after the movies.
What was he doing after that? Yeah, not the old guy who just dude, don't get me started on Rian Johnson in The Last Jedi.
Oh my god.
Fuck, I'm gonna get shot for this. I like the prequels better than the sequel trilogy, not original trilogy. Yeah. The sequel ones with the 2 J.J. Abrams and the 1 Rainn Wilson movie, I think are crap compared to the prequels that were directed by George Lucas. Those told a story. These they weren't.
I think. I mean, I do enjoy the prequels. I think The Phantom Menace has some of the best cinematography, like for acrobatic lightsaber shenanigans. But again, like the old school people hate that. They hate jumpy, flippy lightsaber battles.
The fancy stuff.
They're like, I just want like fencing style. But I'm like, that's kind of lame.
It made sense in the older movies because the only person who knew how to use a lightsaber was Ben Kenobi, who was an old man, and Luke, who had to pretty much teach himself. These people, this is the prime of the galactic, not the Galactic Center, the prime of the Jedi and the Republic.
Yeah,
they have an academy. People are taking classes.
They teach people from childhood to learn how to swing swords.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's different than the clunky stuff that happens later. It made sense
because people are old now and the Force is not strong with their joints.
I guess the Force doesn't keep you young.
No,
it doesn't. I'm excited for that Kenobi show.
I'm excited for Kenobi, and
So
do you know what there's predictions for the Mandalorian season that Cal Kestis from Fallen Order might show up.
Really?
Age Cal Kestis.
I need to
Because
play that.
the kid, the actor who was Ian on Shameless, who did the
That's
mocap,
a good show.
he said he's all down for more of his character showing up because he wasn't properly trained,
Right.
and his character in Fallen Order was great. That game was great.
I haven't played it.
Dude,
I was going to, but a lot of people said it was like Dark Souls, and I fucking hated Dark
no,
Souls.
it's not. It's easier than Dark Souls, so it's not.
Oh.
It's not. One, it's not a challenging game. Two, it's a hack and slash.
I love some of my favorite Star Wars games were The Force Unleashed. I love those games.
Yeah,
One and two.
it plays very similar to Force Unleashed, but without any of those bugs.
Okay.
And it's super smooth. When you learn your Force abilities, it's rewarding in a sense that because he can force stop a laser mid blast.
Okay.
And then like redirect it at them.
That's pretty cool.
But the coolest thing about him is he has 3 different like lightsaber and fighting modes. He has the one saber, he has double sided, and they're connected in the middle, so he can split them apart and do dual wielding.
Ooh.
And in the game, you get to a point where you actually go to the Jedi planet with the crystals, and you can choose the color crystal you want for your saber. And you can throughout the game you can redesign what your hilt looks like.
crystals?
Like
Sith?
you could do red, yeah. So that you got purple, red, pink, green, blue.
But that means that if he comes in, that would make that whole game canon then, right?
The game is canon.
It is canon.
So Fallen Order takes place between episode
After-
5 and 6.
Between 5 and 6.
Yeah.
So it's after Empire Strikes Back? I thought it'd be after
Yeah.
3. After
So
the fall.
it's after the first Death Star exploding, I
After
believe.
the first. Okay.
So
Oh, wow.
because you come across big.
So he would have been a baby during Order 66.
He was 6.
Okay.
He was a small kid, and you play scenes where you're surviving Order 66,
Okay.
and you're
then
running away
he's-
from stormtroopers who like.
So he's older than Luke then, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. 'Cause Luke was just born after that. Okay. Wow.
So he's one of the other characters. You have Canon, the last Padawan. Like you have a handful of people canonically who survived
I want to
the
see someone from Rebels show up.
Order 66.
That's what I thought was going to show up.
I
didn't expect Luke
I
at all.
thought Boba Fett was Rex
Really?
because he was standing there, and I was like that because they all look the same. They're clones.
Right.
I thought it was Rex because he was just standing there in like Tatooine desert, and I'm like, is that Rex?
Oh.
The stormtrooper who survived?
I immediately was like, Boba. He would be way older.
Rex?
Oh, no, he'd be younger. Boba Fett. He wouldn't be that old. This guy... Because the actor's age. Remember, this is supposed to be right after Return of the Jedi.
Because this is the actual
5
son.
years
Is he the real son or the first clone? The clone that they didn't.
That's the actor. That's Tamora Morrison. That's the same actor who played Jango Fett in the prequels.
in the prequel series.
Right.
But the character.
The character is the
Boba.
little boy.
Because Boba is Boba Jango's legit son or first
Clone.
of the clone?
Remember, no, he was a clone that he wanted no
Hormones.
hormone. He
growth
nothing.
hormones.
I want to just clone me and then have him be natural and just raise him because I wanted a
Okay.
son.
Because I know with the other clones, if you popped out the thing in the back of the neck, it would stop the quickening.
Oh,
that's why Rex survived, is because he took out the thing.
A couple of them did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think aren't those the Bad Batch?
Yeah, that starts soon.
Yeah.
I'm gonna see that.
It's weird that I'm excited for more Star Wars stuff than Marvel stuff.
Yeah, well, because it looks like they're starting to find their pacing. I think I was more excited for Marvel and DC because I'm a big Snyder fan. I enjoy all that stuff, but I was getting upset with Star Wars because of those 3 shitty movies.
Yeah.
And Mandalorian, you have the joke about the Mandalorian having back problems because he's carrying the whole Star Wars
Yeah.
franchise on his back. I'm like, it's so true. He did a great
Pedro
job.
Pascal is great.
And now he's on fire. He's
He's gonna be Joel in Last of Us.
in Last of Us. He was just in Wonder Woman.
Do you play Last of Us, right?
Yes. I never played the second one.
Oh, okay. But I'm because when I played the first one, I thought of you a bunch of times throughout
Really?
the movie. I was like, if any good dad that I know, and I only know very few good dads, I was like, I must have cried so much during this movie.
It was hard.
Yeah.
It was hard.
Like you had to pause it at moments. You got
I
I need to take.
I didn't play the second one because what happens to Joel got spoiled for me. And I was like, I'm not gonna play it again.
I was spoiled of Han Solo.
Oh
the death
my
of Han Solo.
God.
The day I was in the theater, and it was the first showing. It was like a 4:00 showing.
Wow.
On a Wednesday, and I pulled up my phone, and I like went. I think I went to like
I wouldn't look up anything.
Facebook. I didn't look it up. It was a really fuzzy. Somebody took a picture of him being stabbed.
Oh my god!
And I was like, son of a bitch.
Fuck me. That would have.
That was the same. That movie was the same movie that I got in a fight with our rival comic book shop group of people.
Oh really?
Because there was one guy in line, and then 30 people showed up, and I was like, no.
Oh wow.
You can't have 30 people cut in front of me, the second person in line.
Yeah, no.
And the only reason why I'm the second person in line is because I went to go buy a bag of snacks before working in line.
I saw that with you, not the first time, because I went to Dublin and saw it in IMAX. I went to the screener where they played all 6 movies. And
see,
then
I don't want to spend 24 hours in a theater.
I was there for like.
I watched them all at home, and then I showed up. That's what I did. I watched all the Star Wars leading up to it.
The reason I did it is because I had never seen the original trilogy in theaters on screen. I wanted to have that. I wanted to have that experience. To be like, I saw all the movies. I saw the prequels already 100 times on theaters when they came out, but I got to see the original trilogy on screen, not just on my TV, on my phone, or on my computer. That was a big deal to me to see the original trilogy on screen.
But it was the new Lucas versions, right?
No, it wasn't the new ones. It was like that middle of the road ones. It wasn't the ones where Darth Vader's going no.
Yeah.
And the Ewoks are blinking and all that shit. No, it was the ones they did in '97 where they added like the CGI guys walking around in the sand and shit. They were there. That long neck one that goes like that when they come into Tatooine.
It starts with a B, right?
I can't remember.
There are a lot of those things I can't remember.
They did just the CGI stuff, but not the new dialogue and all that. Like no, thank God, I would have been pissed. So I got I'm not going to see.
I think that's one of the reasons why I like the Mandalorian is that they kept to like practical effects.
Well, for
the
a
most part.
soundstage, yeah.
The Devorians, the Devil people.
That was cool.
I was like, hell yeah,
dude. When I was in the beginning when they did the Crate Dragon, I was like, oh my gosh, deep cut,
it's super cool.
And it led the way for Boba Fett without having to shoot a scene. I mean, I'm sure they will, but they're like,
he's looking pretty.
He's talking about the Sarlacc pit.
He's looking for a pretty good dude who survived a Sarlacc pit.
Yeah, well, they said, oh, well, we have to worry about Sarlaccs or something like that. He's like, the Crate Dragon ate the Sarlacc. Like, oh shit, and then people and my kids are asking me about it. Like, oh, they never really talked about Crate Dragons. Like, actually, at first movie, you see the skeleton in the desert. That's a Crate Dragon, but the skeleton's only like 20 feet. This thing was huge. So they said that was a baby.
Yeah.
I love Jon Favreau. God bless that guy.
Jon Favreau, like he's
alive.
I think because he's a fan. He's like, I'm making stuff for fans.
His Lion King, it's whatever.
It's all right.
It's all right. It was cool to see live action that one time, once, and then just I'd rather watch the cartoon.
Did you like Aladdin?
I did.
The live action Aladdin.
I did. I liked it. I didn't like Lion King live action. It felt like I was watching National Geographic.
Scar's the best song in the movie. They got rid of. And they turned into
Be Prepared.
They turned it into a 2-line poetry, like mini session.
I'm like I said, I wasn't a big fan of it. I was really excited to see Mufasa die. I was like, okay. Well,
I'm excited to see.
I was so excited to see this.
Fingers crossed, they kill him this time.
4K. But no, I was like, okay, it's live action. I'm gonna see how are they gonna do this.
How are they gonna? It's just like they just the David Attenborough like nature documentary of just stampeding.
Yeah, I just fall and just like I didn't. Yeah, I was like, okay, this isn't gonna be very good. My kids were all for it.
Timon and Pumbaa were all right.
That was
the
okay.
Billy on the Street guy.
But I didn't like that they didn't do the they changed the when they call him fat.
Yeah.
And he goes, they call me Mr. Pig. Like they didn't do any of that. He's like, are you shaming me? Are you body shaming me? I'm like, oh no, don't do all that.
It's like, for the new age.
I know.
Because that's the thing.
He's a pig.
Is they tell us they're making remakes for us, but in reality they're making remakes for like the newer generation.
The newer, yeah.
So then we get mad because they fuck up lines.
I'm like, come on,
don't do a new take. Don't improvise.
Don't do anything new. But I want new.
Yeah, I want new. I want it to look new, but not really. I want to look nostalgic.
I think what hurt me with Star Wars, really the new ones, is that I personally liked I haven't seen them in so long, so I hated it, but The Force Awakens, the first one they did.
Yeah,
I liked it. When I saw it in theaters, I thought, okay, then they show the big drop off of Luke Skywalker. She's handing him his lightsaber, and they cut. I go, oh my god, the next movie is gonna be awesome.
Well, my favorite thing about the next movie was the casino planet, and everyone's like, "Why they go to the casino planet?" I'm like, Star Wars goes places.
I know, but it was unnecessary.
No, but this is the thing: Star Wars does the most unnecessary things that people end up making legends off of. Like how many places they went to a cantina that didn't mean shit.
Right.
It was D&D rules. They show up in a tavern. You see a skulking person in the corner. You ask him for information. You go on an adventure.
Right.
It's D&D storytelling rules. But that's the thing, is that Star Wars does this great thing of showcasing small things in the background that fans then blow up into a huge storyline.
That wasn't small. That was a big thing, and they freed all the horses or whatever. And all that.
But the casino place itself and I would say Justin Trudeau's character, but he was married to Jennifer Aniston.
Justin Aniston.
Justin Aniston, yeah,
she's the star power.
But he wasn't wearing a tuxedo, and his character's cool. Like the thing is to me the best thing about Star Wars is the background. Mm-hmm. The background has always like how many videos exist of just the still from the cantina where you see all the different aliens. You got the fly,
right?
You got the devil. You got literally Satan.
Yeah.
And you got weird other aliens, and you're like, I want to know the backstories about all these people.
Yeah.
So that planet, I was like, I don't give a... This storyline is kind of like bonkers. Princess Leia force floating through things.
Yeah, come on.
But
the way they did Luke, that's really... I could have forgiven everything, but that was not Luke Skywalker. They did him so dirty. He could have just gotten his X-Wing and met them there. He didn't have to project himself and kill himself and not do anything. Like, oh, he's a pacifist.
On the weird sugar planet?
Yeah.
The salty sugar planet?
Yeah, and then have him just project himself, and you're thinking, oh, Luke's showing up, we're about to have the fight. They don't even clash lightsabers. He just does this, like, weird Gumby thing, and I'm like, what the fuck am I watching, dude?
Yeah.
You know? And it was just so disappointing. And then they kill Luke Skywalker, and I'm like, oh, well, this is Rey's story. You could have made it Rey's story. Here, well, I know...
It's just a Skywalker story.
We're not, I think we're at an hour. Oh, yeah, we are. Okay, well, here, I'll end it on this because I know I still gotta drive. Pretty much what my point is, I made a big stink about this because the other day I was watching Tron Legacy, which I'm a big fan of. I'm a big Tron guy, first and second one. I don't know how well you know Tron Legacy.
I just remember the scene where they're riding their bikes out into New York or whatever.
That into Newark?
New York. Yeah, I remember bits of that movie, but my brain's like this.
Tron Legacy. I'll give you a quick. I swear this will be brief, but you do yourself an injustice not seeing that movie.
No, I watched it.
The son thinks his dad's dead, finds out he's not, comes back into the Tron mainframe. The grid, they called it. Yeah. His dad wasn't dead, he was trapped there.
And he tried to make Utopia, but he was usurped by
his clone, essentially. Clue. Codified likeness utility.
Yeah.
It was a worker that was a part of him that could do the things he couldn't when he's like, I live a real life, I can't be in here all the time.
Yeah.
And it corrupted and took over everything. And he was trapped. Now, the movie ends with Flynn dying. Just like Luke. But he's with him through the whole movie, and he's changed. He's not the same guy. He's kind of a pacifist, but he'll break the rules because that's my son.
Yeah.
They go up against Clue. He pushes his son out to save his son and take the girl with him.
To the real.
Yes, and well, she was a different thing. He never made her. That's what made her special.
She was just born.
Sprung up. She is the manifestation of evolution inside technology.
Yeah.
Because he goes, how did you make her? He goes, I didn't. She sprung up like a flower. There's none of me in this. I was like, oh shit, that's awesome. And so he took her, and the girl gives him the disc. And he does the whole thing in the air, just like in the first one. So I'm getting homage. Yeah. And he's like, Dad, and then he's like, this was the plan all along. I'm an old man. He knew he wasn't gonna make it out.
Yeah.
He knew the only way out was for him to reemerge himself with Clue, because doing so would kill him, but also take out the army that was invading. There was an army of ships coming.
Yeah.
And he goes, it's time. You gotta go. And he does this whole scene where he absorbs Clue again, becomes bright white, and just explodes, wipes out the army behind them. And the burst kicks his son and this girl out, and he's like, okay. And he instead of shutting the world down, when he's looking at it, because now he's in the real world and it's just a computer, he makes a copy of it and takes it. He goes, I'm going to do it better. And so at the same time, you paid super homage to what came before. You honored it. They died and you still told Sam's story, not Kevin Flynn's story.
Mm-hmm.
And you moved the story forward without just shitting on everything. Rainn Wilson just shitted on everything. Rainn Johnson, sorry. Rainn Wilson's the guy from The Office. He just shit on everything.
Dwight shit on him.
Fucking Dwight. Bears eat beets. He just shit on everything. And he's like, screw this, screw that. I'm going to change what the Force is. I didn't mind certain things. I thought the throne room fight was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I thought Yoda giggling and being lightning stormed down on the books, like burn the past. He even said the Jedi way isn't right, the Sith way isn't right. Yeah. Yoda, who's like the guy,
because he realized all of his faults being 900 something years old.
Right, and he said part of being a teacher is you pass on the things, even the bad things, your bad qualities. And Luke has this revelation, but he doesn't do anything. He just does this. I'm like, get the next fighter and get over there.
I feel like he was living out his teenage angst where he was like, why everybody think I'm the most important? I don't want to do shit. I want to drink milk.
The Legends version of him is so much better. When he turns into Force lightning and stuff.
And oh my God. But there's a lot of bad things with Legend where like Chewie awakens his Force abilities and holds back a planet until he's crushed and he gets a spider robot body and starts running around.
Remember Mace Windu's Legends? How he got the purple lightsaber?
Oh, because he took a red lightsaber because he killed a Sith.
Killed a Sith with his lightsaber.
And he took his lightsaber and then he purged it.
He imbued it with his
he was like,
Jedi energy and it turned purple.
Because he's like...
I was so with that!
The coolest thing about Mace Windu is that it's hard because Samuel Jackson isn't physically trained at all.
Right.
Is that Mace Windu was one of the best lightsaber wielders of all time.
Right.
Because his fighting style is in your face. He doesn't care if the saber gets close to him. He's like, bah, 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 bah.
Motherfucker.
He has his own fighting style that everybody tries to mimic, but they can't. Because he's like a good dude, but he knows that rage helps.
Right. Well, rage. They cut. I saw a supercut of every single time in the movies. If you watch, every time a Jedi overtakes their opponent is when they give into their anger.
Yeah.
Even Yoda.
Yeah, it's just you just don't let that anger control you.
Consume you.
Can control the anger.
That's the problem. Yeah, the Sith, they live on that shit. Their eyes turn yellow. But but anyway, that's what I said. I think an example of how you can do you can do right by it. I mean,
I'm tired.
I never complained at Han dying. I'm like, okay, it happened.
Yeah, well, I think
when Luke died, I'm like, what the fuck?
The last 20 years, Harrison Ford just says he wants Han to die in every interview.
Right. So you knew.
So okay.
I knew it.
The thing
that's why he did the movie. So
the thing that I don't like about Star Wars is the whole bloodline shenanigans, and other movies have the same sort of fault for that.
Game of Thrones does it.
The last movie is the comic books. Palpatine basically created Anakin Skywalker.
Right.
He got his mom Force pregnant because he tampered. Because that's in the that's Darth Vader's comic book.
That wasn't Palpatine.
It was Palpatine.
I thought that was Plagueis.
That's Legends.
Oh.
So
I like Plagueis.
In the Vader comics, it was issue 26 of volume 2 or whatever. You see.
I read Vader Down.
Vader Down was it a one-off?
It was.
It was really cool, and he's surrounded, and he's finally.
He was excited. He talks about his heart, feeling his heart race for the first time.
So in that book, you see Palpatine start doing his whatever, manipulating the Force.
Midichlorians, right?
Yeah, and he causes his mom to get Force pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
So technically, Anakin Skywalker is a Palpatine.
Right. Okay.
And then Rey is a Palpatine, and it's just all the Palpatine bloodline.
So Rey is Luke's aunt.
Rey is the granddaughter of Palpatine, and Palpatine is so Rey is the niece.
Well, that's her grandfather. That's right.
Yeah.
So her
uncle
was brothers with.
Or her uncle is Anakin.
Her dad, who whoever he was, a clone or not, her dad who was killed, was Anakin's brother. Would have been his half brother.
Yeah.
So she would be. So Luke would be her
cousin.
So it would go Palpatine,
Anakin,
Luke, and then over here it goes Palpatine, Guy, and then her.
Rey.
So they would be
cousins.
Second cousins.
First cousins.
Yes, because her dad and their dad. Yeah,
It's the same bloodline.
Yeah,
it's
they're
the Palpatine bloodline.
Holy shit!
And I don't like that.
Holy shit!
I don't like when there's that whole like.
Dave, that's fucking with me. I'm a Star Wars man.
Yeah, but like the comic books is like, yeah, Palpatine is just Big Daddy Force.
I like the idea that wasn't the original Palpatine at the end. That was actually a clone. Thank God. I'm like, bring the cloning in, because Palpatine in Legends had so many clones.
He did. That was his thing. He was like, I'm gonna clone everything.
He just kept going. He's like the villain in the Sixth Day.
I know it's illegal and it's been banned. Do you know the thing is that like, and they only do it in the RPG games, like the tabletop games in old lore, is legit guns. They talk about guns, and they're called slug throwers because they fire bullets. And the only reason why those guns with bullets were banned is because a lightsaber can't deflect a bullet.
Oh, yeah.
So if you try to slice a bullet, it just splats like it
it
just melts on you.
Yeah.
So
you're doing this, and they just really...
So like when you play tabletop RPG games, they talk about them called slug throwers, and they're super illegal. But there's just a group of people like bounty hunters who back in the old Republic would hunt Jedi using bullet guns.
Oh wow!
Because they can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
It's like shit.
Well, I mean, if they could probably do a Neo thing, and
you could do a Neo thing, but if you got 6 dudes surrounding you, unless you can do like a whole shell around your body. And then someone walks up and just domes you.
Yeah, you're doing this, like, stop.
And then, like, Hitman comes up behind you, like
John Wick would fuck him up.
John Wick could take on Jedi.
He could. He'd kill Obi-Wan Kenobi. He'd be the baddest bounty hunter, dude, in the New Republic.
He actually would. Why is Keanu Reeves not in Star Wars?
Why is he not in the Marvel movies?
He should be.
Why is he not in the DC? I mean, they're not doing any...
I want Keanu Reeves as Gambit.
He's too old. Way too old.
Just an old man Gambit.
I don't know.
I don't know what he would play.
I'm frustrated. But it is what it is.
Sexually?
Screw this podcast. Let's get the sexual tension out of the way.
We got a mattress.
Right behind me. Fight you for the top spot.
Oh, man. No need to fight. I think my biggest issue with anything is they don't do right by us most of the time.
They don't.
They ask us what we want, and then they give us like the third thing down the line.
Even in Marvel now, Kevin Feige for a while thought could do no wrong, and then it's like, hey, why are you so scared of other things? When they brought in Pietro, it was like, hey, multiverse, we're cool with it.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, we want to do something different. It's like, we want multiverse, we want you to honor all this stuff. We're telling you what you want, they just ignore it.
The only way that I would accept, the only way that I think it would cool, the same reason why I'm not mad at Iron Man 3 anymore is because of that 10-minute thing they did afterwards, where the Mandalorian in jail. It wasn't Mandalorian. It made it entirely better.
God,
so they did that with Pietro, where Jimmy Woo shows up and be like, "Hey,
why'd you change your name to Ralph Boner?" He's like, "Well, there was already a Pietro here. He died. I didn't want to."
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they did a 10-minute thing like that, I'd be like, sold. I'm fine with WandaVision.
Yes. Yeah, they need that now.
Yeah. Just sprinkle in
like
that little
really bad.
thing.
I'm gonna be kind of obsessed with that.
If they do the whole Jimmy Woo thing.
Yeah, I'll be like, they need to do something like that, just to be like, oh, okay, he did that. That's why he's living in someone's attic and shit.
Yeah, cause like even him as Boner was doing the same thing Quicksilver did. He was just like a goofy guy playing ping pong
games and shit.
He was making himself a smoothie. He had a guitar,
and he still had those powers.
He did.
Because he was fighting with Monica, poked her and knocked her down. So he did have some speed powers.
I still think he's a different universe. He's X-Men Quicksilver.
Whatever you're thinking, I want to see that movie, not whatever the hell they're doing.
I mean, I have good ideas. I got the Hal Jordan Vietnam War movie idea.
You got a Jar Jar one too, but that's not really an idea. That was something Lucas was already gonna do. And then I heard you talk about it a lot. I remember one time, me and Rex, another friend of ours, we were having a deep conversation, you and me, about Star Wars. And then right as you get up, you go to the back of the comic book store to take a shit.
I started
and then we're talking about Jar Jar.
I started yelling, and I went on speaker.
Jar Jar. And then you got on the phone and started texting. You know, Jar Jar was supposed to be the original Sith Lord.
Yeah.
Like, wow, he's taking a dump and he's still in.
Because like even in the first movie, you can see him mouth things people are saying.
Right.
Because he's using Force. And he also has Sith eyes.
They have a recording of George Lucas saying Jar Jar
was supposed to like.
Jar Jar's key to everything.
Yeah, he was like Jar Jar's key to everything. We were gonna go one way with him, but we ended up not.
Yeah.
And I was like, he was supposed to be the most badass.
That would have been
because it's classic storytelling. Is you have the goofy character who ends up being the major badass.
He was right where he needed to be.
He was.
To meet Qui-Gon, and then let's go to my people. Let's do this.
The Gungans kicked him out. but they didn't say why they kicked him out. They're like, he's banned here, but they never said why. He uses Force-like abilities when he's fighting off the robots. He does the jumps. There's no way you can be that lucky.
Right.
When you have like a bomb strapped to your thing and you just keep kicking people.
I mean, isn't there? I don't know. There's probably a version of the Force so you can use like that, like the drunken fighting style kind of thing.
Well, that's
Force.
The thing is that
you can do that. Kind of stuff.
That's like an argument to make why he is a Sith Lord is because he uses like Force trickery.
I would say it's an argument that he's Force sensitive, but a Sith Lord, he didn't do anything to help the Sith whatsoever.
He's the reason why Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon met Anakin. He ate the thing on the vendors, and then the guy comes over and starts talking.
Whoopee.
Yeah, and he's like, I know what you're saying, and then and then Anakin walks up and translates, and then that's how they meet each other.
But no, that was the second time. First time, they weren't even on the planet. Their their hyperdrive had broken, and they had to find a planet that wasn't controlled by the Federation. It was Tatooine because it was controlled by the Hutts.
Yeah.
So they didn't even know Anakin was there. Then they land, and they go to the shop, and he happens to be working at the shop. And
no, they weren't at the shop yet.
No, I'm telling you, watch the movie again because I'm doing a long thing. You're not following me on Facebook. You know this. I watched the first and second movie. I watched the first and second movie, and now I'm on season 4 of the Clone Wars. Mm-hmm. Then I'm gonna watch the third movie. Then I'm gonna watch Rebels. Then I'm gonna watch 5 and 6. I'm doing canonical.
In canonical.
Yep, and then I'm gonna watch Rebels. Then I'm gonna watch Solo, Rogue One, and then I'm gonna do like 5 and 6. Like I'm doing everything in order.
Between episode 5 and 6, play Fallen Order.
All right, I'm not even kidding. I might watch 5. Play Fallen Order, watch 6, then I'm going to watch the 2 Mandalorian seasons, then I'm going to watch the new ones.
Because the Fallen Order introduces you to the first ever Inquisitors.
Right. But they were in Rebels.
The sisters.
They were in Rebels, weren't they?
Yeah, but Rebels...
I never watched Rebels.
Okay.
Because I was so hyped on Clone Wars and everyone said Rebels was shit, so I just didn't watch it.
Rebels is the most childlike out of
I heard it's more for kids.
It's like Disney... XD sort of.
Clone Wars. Did you see the last season that they just came out with? Clone Wars. It's dark.
Is it dark? I mean, I believe
it's good.
But it's Tartanovsky. They brought him back, right?
Yeah, they brought everyone back. It's the same showrunners, but it's dark because it's like what was happening during Revenge of the Sith, essentially.
Okay.
Because it literally has like a couple episodes, and then Order 66 happens like.
I remember watching the Ahsoka Tano Darth Maul interactions and stuff.
Right, yeah. Order 66 happens like halfway through this last season. And then the rest is like kind of around what happens with that.
Okay.
It's worth it.
So I know they introduced Darth Maul's brother at one point.
That was back in Clone Wars. Early that was in season 3. Because they bring in the Night Sisters and all that. And then that's how they have Ventress.
So in Fallen Order, when you go to Dathomir...
Dathomir, that's where he's from.
Yeah, when they go to Dathomir, you kind of get more of the lore, and then why all of the Night Sisters are dead.
Oh, okay.
Like are murdered and shit, and you come across the last surviving chick who can.
I might do that then.
Honestly, Fallen Order is actually a really fun game.
I'll get to it. I'm still trying to. It's hard to watch I watched Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones, and then I had to now I'm watching Clone Wars, so it's like I'm trying to get through all those Clone Wars before I can get to the next damn movie, Revenge of the Sith. And then I have to watch Rebels, and then Solo, then Rogue One, and then I can start the next trilogy.
I heard that Clone Wars made General Grievous an actual cool, interesting character, because the movies didn't do him justice.
At all, no.
Aesthetically, he's actually really cool.
He's a snake, man.
I found out that he's a lizard person.
Yeah.
Because they show his race before... And then he slowly had to switch out parts for mechanical parts.
Well, he's 300 years old or something.
Yeah.
He's lived longer than he's supposed
to. And he has lung problems, you can't replace your lungs.
Right, yeah.
He's coughing.
Well, it's a cool thing because George Lucas said that he made him as a precursor to Darth Vader, the whole kind of thing. The one thing he needed is what he gets. Because Darth Vader is just an iron lung. That's keeping him alive. Dooku didn't have that. He's coughing all the time. Anyway... You want to wrap it up on that?
Yeah.
This was fun, dude.
It was.
I'm glad we got to do it. I want to do yours.
You more.
I'm going to do you.
You do me?
Yeah.